Hi, I'm Srikanth Pragada. In this video, I would like to explain the importance of equals method, hashcode methods in the context of hashing. I mean, if you're using hashset or linked hashset, how these methods are playing an important role and what happens if you don't override them. To start with, I have a simple circle class which contains radius, and we created a hash set of circle objects, and I'm creating four objects, and I have the same object repeated. I mean, I use the same data. So two objects have the exact same data, and then I try to take each and every object from this hash set. And hash set is supposed to be unique. Hash set is supposed to have only unique values. So I try to take the values from this hash set and I want to print. If you go run it, you get duplicates. Well, how come you get duplicates when we are using hash set? Because hash set is supposed to have all unique values. The problem here is there is no way hashset is able to compare two circle objects and then see whether they are same or not, because we don't have equals method implemented in this class. So let's go and implement equals method. So I say boolean equals, and it takes object, but we would like to convert that to circle. So where other is equal to circle obj. Of course, we have to check whether it is really of type circle, but I'm just trying to focus more on the concept I'm trying to explain in this video. Now I just need to check whether the radius of this object and the radius of our parameter are same. So I say this dot radius is equal to other dot radius. If both the radius values are same, I return true, otherwise I return false. That means I have a way to compare two objects considering the radius of the circles. Well, I don't need to mention this, but it's always better you just give override. Okay, come back and then save and run. Well, no change. Well, I did create equals. It should be used, but as of now, it's not being used, or I'm not seeing any change from the previous output. So, what's the secret? What's really happening under the hood? If you have a look at that, it's like this. You have an object, and every object is given what is called as hash code. So four objects are having four different hash codes by default. Well, you can see that by printing the hash code along with the radius. Let's print the hash code, and every object is having hash code because that is one of the methods coming from object class. And if you go run it, you can see the hash codes are different. So then how does it matter? When the hash codes are different, automatically the objects are going into different buckets. So this is like bucket 1, this is bucket 2. Like that, we are now having four different buckets because we have four different hash codes. So this goes into this bucket. This is with the radius 10.5. and this goes into a different bucket because the hash codes are different. Now, I'm not putting the actual hash codes. I just put some imaginary hash codes like 1500, 2000, and then 2500, 1200, like that. Different hash codes basically. So they go into different buckets. Like that, they go into 4 different buckets. Though the values are same here, even this is having the same data as that, but as the objects go into a different bucket, they are considered to be unique. That's the most important point. When two objects are in 2 different buckets, they are considered to be unique or they are considered to be different. So this 10.5, this 10.5, as they go into different buckets, they are assumed to be different. So no comparison is done between these two objects. So the remedy to this is we need to make sure these two objects go into the same bucket so that these two are compared, and if they are same, only one object will be accommodated, the other one will be rejected. So the most important part is this hash code. So we need to go and implement hash code. Don't accept the default hash code provided by Java automatically. Instead, you create your own hash code. So we will create our hash code method, hash code, and we return a number. Let us say I'm returning just 1 because any integer can be returned. I'm returning 1. So now what happens, the hash codes are same for all of them. So all of them have the same hash code. So this is 1, 1, 1, 1. That means you don't have 4 different buckets. You have just one bucket where everything is placed. So let's just say you have one bucket. That's it. No 4 buckets. So this is the bucket in which all these objects should go. Okay, all of them should go into the same. So this second one, what's the value here? If you go down and see 15.10, then the next one 14.25. Now all of them are going into the same bucket, including this. But now when two objects are in the same bucket, they are compared. So this 10.5 is compared with 15.10. No issue, it will be placing it. Because these two are compared using equals method. The next one is also going in because its value is different from the others. But when the fourth one is going into the bucket, it will be rejected because we already have another object exactly with the same data. So if you give hash code that is same for all, it need not be same for all. Just for demo, I'm doing this. Now let's go run this and your problem is solved. 10.5 is no longer repeated. That means, as I explained here, when the hash code is same, the objects go into the same bucket. And within the bucket, the objects are compared. And if two objects are same, only one remains, the other one will be rejected. So implementing hashcode method is very important. In fact, there is a very simple and important contract that says when two objects are equal according to equals method, then you must make sure their hash codes are equal. So if objects are equal and if hash codes are not equal, they go into different buckets and they are considered to be then different. So just make sure when you're dealing with your custom classes, because this is taken care for all predefined classes like string, etc. But when you're creating your own class, when you're planning to use it with the hash set, if you don't implement equals and hash code, and that too, the hash code should be following the contract. I repeat, the contract says when two objects are equal, the hash code must be equal. When two objects are not equal, the hash code can still be same. It need not be different. But when objects are equal, hash code must be same. So here I'm giving 1 so that everything goes into one bucket. And when 10.5 is coming, it is same as the other object, it will be rejected. Now you can change the hash code to anything as long as that contract is fulfilled. For example, I can give another value. I can even round my circle radius. I can round the radius and provide that as hash code if I want. So it's up to you what you give as the hash code, but just make sure the hash code is according to the contract. That means when two objects have the same data, the hash codes must be same. Okay, that's how you need to do this. So if you don't do that, you will be for very unpleasant surprise, because you think hash set is guaranteeing uniqueness, but you don't get uniqueness unless you take care of these two. Okay, hope I made that clear. And just remember, if you are planning to use your custom class with hashset or linked hashset, you have to make sure you override these two methods of object class. And that too, you need to implement the contract that says when two objects are equal, their hash codes must be same. Okay, all the very best. Keep learning.